Good evening, everyone. Sorry, I'm just switching all putting all the images closed. Okay, so good evening, everyone, and welcome to this meditation that has, my intention behind this meditation is basically to help us all access more calm, but also courage, strength and sovereignty to help embody into the collective. As most of us know, there's so much going on in the world right now, and many people are starting to awaken to a lot of things that, in many ways, can make them feel very, very uncomfortable. And we're in a situation where this is a great time to let go of old structures, old ways of doing things, but it's an important time for humanity to be able to access their inner strength, their inner calm, their inner peace. So tonight is going to be a wee bit different than normal how I would do meditation. So it's going to start, I'm going to do something with us just to get us feeling into some of the issues that are presently coming up, to let them go, but also to help us embody more that inner sovereignty, which I think is really vital at this time. It's very easy when things seem unstable for us to move into a state of anxiety and fear and stress, or even just to hide our head in the sand and pretend it's not happening. When actually being fully present in that situation helps us, if we can be fully present and allow, certain things to move through us and face certain things, it actually empowers us. Okay. And the key here is it's not about getting completely caught up in a storm or anything like that. It's about being present in the situations and obviously moving through it and past it. But one of the things that I've noticed for the last few years is that many people, for a variety of reasons, have been caught up in the chronic anxiety and chronic stress, and also the freeze response into lots of things. So what happens, there's a lot of byproducts of that, and the more that someone tries to deny, the more they're suppressing more, and that can then, when things start bubbling at the top, it's not always pleasant. And one of the things that I'm seeing a lot of people are talking about, particularly people are more a wee bit switched on and aware of what's going on, they're talking about how much they're seeing a lot of people really starting to really struggle, and a lot of anger coming, frustration is coming to the surface. And anger and frustration is not always, we always think of it as a negative, but often from, if someone's in apathy, some of these emotions are higher up and we want to move them up through these emotions. So I'm going to just show you something that I think can help us all at the moment. And it's a good reminder. A lot of you will be aware of this, but I think it's a really good reminder. So I'm going to show you a few things. So, sorry, I jumped the screen. Okay. So when we are in a state of shame, apathy, right, even guilt and fear, we know that these are really, really low, disempowering vibrations and energy. And we all go through these moments and periods. And it's often linked to, obviously, we know certain things in our past and our conditioning. But the more that we can move through it, we can move through into courage, and then, it's neutrality. We move up to love, joy, and peace. Humanity at the moment is kind of down in the lower states of that, and it needs a little bit of support to move up to that. And sometimes with change, we need to reach rock bottom, and most of you who are healers and therapists know that. Often people have to reach rock bottom before they're willing to create big change, before they're willing to face things and move forward. And many of us have, over the last few years, really been working to try support people with this next stage of the awakening. And it's important that we keep ourselves strong to support them. And if we look at the map of consciousness, and this is based on David Hawkins' map of consciousness, he sees shame is at the very bottom, guilt, apathy, grief, fear, even desire, anger, pride. Even courage is actually not as high as what people think, but when people are still being really drawn into shame and guilt and apathy and grief and fear, they're in the real low scale of consciousness, and we're obviously trying to move people to that higher map of consciousness. And it's all about helping us have healthy roots, healthy grounding. And what I'm going to do today is I'm going to bring you into a nice traditional meditation, and then we're going to end with some clearing to make sure our roots are strong. Because it's one of the common things, even with light workers, is that we can get so focused on being enlightened and look at the light and constantly strive for that we're not fully embraced in our body. We don't really want to feel the tough stuff, and we don't want to move through it. And we have to be really grounded and present in the present moment. So when you're ready, if you can just, first of all, get comfortable. I would advise you for the first part of this session, to sit upright, because we are going to do a more traditional style meditation. And what I want you to do, even though it is a traditional style meditation, I think it's really important for us all actually to get grounded at the moment. So one of the first ways to do that is just to actually be fully aware of your body. Be aware of your feet and your legs. And we're going to just begin with a simple grounding exercise, where you feel into your heart and you imagine roots from your heart going down into your spine. And right down. And what you can do is imagine there's roots from your spine, go down into your legs, right down into the centre of the awakened part of Mother Earth. But also, if you can imagine, I like to imagine like a large root or tube that comes down through the centre of the body, right down into the earth. And you allow that to be almost a way that you release things into the earth that needs to be released. And you want to anchor in to the most awakened, loving, and supportive and nurturing aspect of Mother Earth. And you draw that energy up. Into your body. And as you do that, then you connect from your heart up into your star, and up into the highest dimensions of love and light and high vibration in the universe. And you just allow that. And we're just going to allow that to happen. And now I'm just going to take these into a more traditional style meditation, where we're just going to begin by completely just focusing on our breath. So this is not about controlling anything. It's always about letting go. So I just want you to begin by focusing on your inhale and just being completely aware of your inhale. And then just being completely aware of your exhale. This is about completely letting go and just being a simple witness. Observing your breath going in and observing your breath going out. Nothing more, nothing less. Observing the breath going in and observing your breath going out. Now, I should have added that it's important for you to sit up straight and you have your shoulders dropped and your hips into your body. Observe your breath going in and observe your breath going out. And if you lose your train of thought, you simply bring your awareness back to your point of focus, which is focusing on your breath going in and your breath going out. Now, I should add, if there is anyone who suffers from anxiety attacks or any breathing issues, even if you just focus on the way that the breath enters the nostrils or whatever way you breathe, because sometimes people do breathe differently for a variety of reasons, but you're just being aware of how the air enters the body, and you can feel the air moving down and then just leaving the body. You don't have to focus on the chest area or the lung area or the heart area. So observe your breath going in and going out. And don't worry if your mind wanders. Meditation is simply about bringing yourself back to present awareness. And in many ways, it's about the pauses between the breath, the stillness, the peace. Observe your breath going in and observe your breath going out. And if any thoughts come in, you just simply be a witness to the thoughts and you just let them go. So when you're ready, I want you just to bring your awareness into the centre of your heart. And just like you were bringing your focus onto your breath, I want you just to focus onto the heart. Now, some of you will be kinesthetic, some of you are more auditory, visual, everyone's different. I want you just to either feel into the heart or imagine you're seeing a dot in the heart, or you can even listen to your heartbeat, feel your heartbeat, whatever feels right for you. But I want you to consciously start by bringing your awareness to your heart and just be an observer and a witness to the energy in your heart area. And then begin by giving yourself permission to open the heart. Allow yourself to open deep and deeper and deeper inside the heart. And it's almost like you're opening a tunnel. You're opening a tunnel of light. And as you open up the tunnel of light, you're allowing your heart, which starts almost like a little light, like a dot of light, you're allowing it to expand and magnify. And as you allow that light to magnify, and basically you're magnifying, it's almost like you can imagine a golden light or a silver light, and it's magnifying and increasing intensity from the cell level right into like the atom level. So it's really expanding, it's vibrating, it's getting brighter and brighter, even at the smallest fraction. So this ball of light is not just getting bigger and wider, but it's vibrating at higher vibration. So as it expands, it's almost in triples in intensity and vibration of love. As you allow that to expand, you connect from your heart into the pineal gland and the pituitary gland within the head. And you're going to allow the light from your heart to move through all the neural pathways, your pineal gland, your pituitary gland, your third eye, all these aspects within the head, the neural pathways, and the cerebral fluid. You want to allow the light from the heart area to move through that. And one of the ways that you can really help expand the heart and increase the heart volume is to remind yourself of the things that you deeply love. the things that open the heart, like a newborn baby, a puppy, beautiful places, the deep love that you have for another human being, or that you have for life. And as we expand our heart, we send love and we feel into that love. So it's about really feeling the energy of love, allowing us to feel fully the capacity of love and allow that energy and frequency of love to move through up the central nervous system, right up. And it's almost like this light is acting like a little lighthouse, and it's sending light to your head. And the way that I like to imagine it is that within the brain, it's almost like you create it's like a lighthouse, but there's no like edging on the window. It's just like one clear window that goes right round, and it's a clear top, and you're cleaning it up. And then it's all really shiny. So it's you're cleaning out all the nooks and crannies of the mind and the neural pathways, and also your spiritual connection, your star connection, and your connection to so many things that you can't possibly imagine that are here supporting you at this point. And you allow, as that clears and as that removes old density, old fragments, old conditioning, old programming that no longer serves you, that is not of the highest light and is not in you, for your great sovereignty, as you release that and you let it go and you allow it to move down and clear out your energetic body down into the earth, where it transmutes into something else. As you do that, you're also making a connection from the crown right up to your star, and then right up to the highest elements of support, light, love, God, and the universe. And you're allowing your body to act as a channel for heaven and earth. You're allowing yourself to be fully grounded in to the physical element of Mother Earth. Because no matter how we want to live a spiritual life, if you're not embodying the physical, if you're not owning the present moment, if you're not owning the physical body, if you're not owning the physical presence right now, it's hard to anchor in the level of energy, courage, and strength that supports you and supports humanity at this time. We get our power from heaven and earth. We can't survive without the earth. And as a spiritual being, obviously, we need our spiritual connection. So it's allowing heaven and earth to pour through every crevice and to pour deep, deep, deep into our heart. And as it pours deep into your heart, I want you to imagine it's going right back to your point of conception. And it's bringing you back to that God spark when you arrived on earth. And it's clearing the DNA, clearing the genetic patterns, clearing old karma that you're carrying, that you've took on, that belongs to your family, that belong to other people around about you, your siblings, your teachers, your partners, your friends, your culture, your religion, anything that you have took on that does not belong to you, that is not from that God spark. Imagine that the highest dimensions of love and light is clearing that pathway. And I'm just going to allow you just to bathe in that light as I do a few things just to try and clear the energy and to clear these patterns and these blueprints that are impacting us all, but it's all weaved in the collective. And as I do that, just allow yourself to be bathed in this heavenly and earthly light. And remind yourself not just to focus on the heavenly light, but to actually appreciate and show one of the greatest ways that you can actually increase your healing capacity is something that I've learned over the last few years, is by actually being very grateful for that heaven and earth connection, not just the heavenly connection, but really feeling in and appreciating all the earthly and physical things that nurture us every day. And the more that you can be grateful and show appreciation and really deep from the heart, you attract it back. You attract the abundance. Many light workers, many therapists and coaches and healers struggle to receive. And it's so important that we learn to receive at this time. As you're bathing in this light, can you really focus on at the moment, just for you all can just do this for a wee while, is actually and start increasing your light. Imagine your light is moving out. And I want you to imagine it's around you, a ball of light. And imagine 1,000 times the size of the ball of light originally. So it's expanding right out around your auric field. But it's popping. It's almost like each cell is popping, and each it's not just popping, it's trying to get the right word. It's like there's a level of flow to it, right? But it's almost that it's maximizing in size, that it's so filled with love that you become formless. To allow your energy field to expand, allow your heart to expand, allow every cell and every atom of your body to expand. Allow that energy to expand out into your home, still ensuring that heaven and earth connection is there. Expand out to your town or your village and your country, and then right out to the earth. And then we're going to anchor you into the polarity of the universe. So you have the ability to be aligned and the ability to receive. And I want you all to see within yourself. You can see it out if you obviously, these are on mute. Mute. So not you can mute yourself. And I want you just to say to yourself, I command that anything that is not of the highest love, light, and sovereignty leave now. I command that anything that is not of the highest love, light, and sovereignty leave now. I command that anything that is not of the highest love, light, love, and sovereignty leave now. I command old karmic patterns, contracts, or rituals that are not in my highest, best interest, leave now. I command the old karmic patterns, contracts, and rituals that are not my highest, from the highest being, leave now. I command all old all karma, contracts, and rituals that are not of my highest being, leave now. And leave now and forever. I recall all of my power. I recall all of my power. I recall all of my power. I recall all of my soul. I recall all of my soul. I recall all of my soul. I want you just to really feel into the earth, ground your energy, your power into your physical body. And for some of you, you might find it easier to visualize in any way. One way that might be helpful for some of you is to imagine that you're on a mountain and that you're standing on the top of this mountain, and even though it's a mountain, it has, good grounding in it. It's solid, it's strong, it gives you like a higher vision, but it gives you a sense of strength and courage. It's almost like you've reached that mountain top, right? And you're at the top of the mountain, and you can imagine yourself as some sort of warrior or hero that has reached the top. And you have, if you can imagine in your body, that you've got great physical strength. So some of you will be more auditory. So hear into, it could be the wind, the atmosphere of what that feels like. You imagine going up a hill, go up on a mountain. Feel into or smell the fresh air. Smell, the earth. Imagine that you're touching the ridges on the mountain and the earth. Feel into how it makes you feel grounded and standing and fully, if you can imagine, you're fully and completely in your power. And in many ways, that represents a certain amount of masculine energy. And I think it's really important for people to own more of their masculine energy, just to keep them. It's almost, it helps you if you can imagine, we sometimes forget our energetic field has to be more robust and light, a wee bit like the warrior when we need that. And when we know that we can really fully embody our power, our mental, emotional, and spiritual strength with a sense of sovereignty. And the sovereignty energy is very different from where we're really angry and rebellious and aggressive and so triggered just by things that we just want to battle. But this is different. This is a wise, strong warrior that knows when to act, knows how to move through life with strategy, and is guided spiritually. But it helps us own our power. If you think of the energy of a leader, right? Now, I was going to say royalty. I know a lot of people at the moment have a lot of associations that can be negative with royalty, but when you think about a royal symbol that represents good and represents for the people, and that is a leader, someone that does what is right for the people, does right, they're honourable, they're respectful, and they're willing to put themselves out there. When we own that we all are the king, the queen, that we all have this power, this deep power within us, because we all are sovereign beings. And it is important at a human level that we really own that sovereignty. We also own our inner hero. And if any of you are struggling with images and you want some help, I'm just going to put some images on slides just to see how we have a little superhero from a child. Sometimes it's easy for children to be that superhero and pretend, but we actually all have that superhero within us. And it comes in all shapes and sizes. And it doesn't matter how it comes forward. We all have that. We all have that superhero within us. We all have greater strength and courage and power than we often imagine. We are the superhero. We're our own superhero. And when we begin by being our own superhero, we can make huge shifts. It's about believing in yourself. When you believe in yourself, it's easier to believe in the world and to believe in other people. It's important that we start believing in ourselves and believing that we can create the change and that we have the power. We've got access. We've got heaven and earth. What else do we need? It's about owning your royalty. And it's about owning your wisdom and your courage, your spiritual wisdom and courage. And you only do that by fully embracing your sovereignty. So as we go back into our heart and we stand in that mountain, and in that mountain it's so much easier to connect to that heavenly light and to access that heavenly light while still remaining fully in our body. And it's so important that we stay in our body. We can all want to come out of the body when things feel uncomfortable, but the more that we fully embrace and feel into the body, into the bones, into our muscles, we actually help our nervous system. We help ourselves access and hold in the light. We can't hold in the light if we don't fully, if we're not fully in our body. So I want you to imagine that you're at the top of this mountain and you're going to go back down the mountain, but you're going back down to almost bring and ground that energy into your everyday life and into supporting the collective. But before you go down that mountain, I want us all to hold hands, and what you're going to do is you're going to send the light from the right. So you're going to imagine your right hand is sending love to the person to your right, and you're going to receive with the left. So the easiest way to do it is to have your hand as if it's cupped upright in your left hand and your hand down to your right, and we're all in a large circle. And no matter how many people have listened to this meditation later on, we're all part, and whoever else that you want to be in, if they, on a soul level, if they want to join, they can join. And we can also open ourselves to any of the highest dimensions of love and light, and anyone else that wants to come in and support us at this time. And we allow heart to expand. And as we stand in that top of that mountain together, we send love, not just to each other, but we're sending love out to the universe. And all you need to do at the moment is just focus on expanding and feeling that genuine love for a baby, love for a puppy, that deep love that we have as human beings, an amazing capacity to love our fellow man. We open our heart, we allow that heart energy to flow as we send it through. And as we send it through, we're also opening ourselves. We're having the ability to receive. And it's not just the ability to receive. I want you to really open your heart and your soul and every atom and aspect of your body into receiving right now, because you deserve to be that sovereign being. You deserve more, and you deserve the highest elements of love, light, abundance, strength, courage, and sovereignty in that at this time. And as we allow that light and we can let go, in many ways we're still sending out that light, and we're receiving that light as we all go in our journey down the mountain in our own individual paths. And as you move down that ridge or down the mountain, I want you to fully embrace your individual courage, strength, and power, tenacity, in what way that shows up, because we're all different. It's about reminding you that every single one of you have a purpose at this point, and it's going to come in all different shapes and sizes. And it can come in the smallest ways that you can't possibly imagine. That you do something one day, and it can have such a cascading effect on other people. And it's not just about paid work. That's where people get it so wrong. It's about sometimes the most simple things, and it can be the practical support that you have someone. When you're embodying more courage and strength and sovereignty at this time, you will be an example and help others embody. So as we all move down the mountain and we go back to, in many ways, everyday life, we have that heaven and earth connection. We're still in our sovereignty. The king or the queen or the hero doesn't lose its crown just because it goes in and is in amongst the people. Hold your sovereignty, hold your love, hold your sovereignty within your heart, and hold it in every cell of your body. Feel into the earth as you're moving down. Be aware of the sun, the smells. Imagine that you're smelling the earth. And as you're moving closer and closer down away from the mountain into the fields or the countryside, be aware of the soil, the grass, the sun against your face, even the breeze against your face. Be aware of your physical body. Be aware of the birds. If you want, and you want to imagine that you're touching something that makes you feel earthly, that makes you feel strong. If you want to feel even your own physical body. Or visualize anything that helps anchor in that strength. And if you can just take one even sensory experience from this meditation that helped anchor in that sovereignty or strength, you take that with you. It can be an image, it can be a smell, a thought, a sound, a word. It doesn't matter, it's personal to you. When you're ready, I want you just to stand in your sovereignty wherever you are. It could be a field, it could be a countryside, it could be whatever you want it to be. I want you to stand in your sovereignty, feel fully into your body, and realize that in many ways you're energetically bigger right? It's almost like you're standing like a goddess or a god. You're energetically much bigger in frequency than you can possibly imagine. You're expanded in ways that you can't possibly imagine. And you're connected to the universe in ways that you can't possibly imagine. And it's so important at this time for you to tap into your inner guidance and not be fooled or be distracted and disempowered by a lot of the chaos that is designed to confuse us, to disempower us, and for us, it's all designed in many ways to disconnect us from our own intuition and our soul guidance. So the more that we can step into our sovereignty and that we are not impacted and not scared to speak out or speak a truth or not being scared to stand up, it's a really important time for us just to hold that strength and hold it in a strong, it can still be done in a calm, empowered way. Now I want you to feel into your feet. And as you feel into your feet, just remind yourself of that heart energy. And even bring that heart energy back into your feet. And then send love down to Mother Earth and thank Mother Earth for all the physical things that you've ever had in your life, and even for life itself, to be given the gift of life and for all she provides. Because at the end of the day, Mother Earth is part of God. It is part of, we've been so lucky to live a life on earth and be given so many beautiful things. And it's so important that we send that love and appreciation of the things that we receive. And we send it again, a connection up, and we thank all the inner guidance that we get and all the support that we get, and even the things that we take for granted. And then we feel our feet in her feet, our ankles in her ankles, her knees in her knees, our thighs in her thighs, our hips in her hips, her spine in her spine, her back in her back, her tummy in her tummy, her chest in her chest, her lungs in her lungs, her heart in her heart, her shoulders in her shoulders, her arms in her arms, hands in her hands, fingers in her fingers, her neck in her neck, her head in her head. And as you fully connect into your body, just slowly and gently bring yourself back.